Featherweight bout here. Kyle Nelson coming in at plus 220. The Canadian fighting against Blake Bilder, who's minus 220. Over under 2.5 rounds. Plus 142 for the over. Minus 142 for the under. The undefeated Blake Bilder. You had him in your in the last time he was out, correct?
Yep.
You taking him this time at the chalk?
It's tough because you look at Kyle Nelson. I didn't expect Kyle Nelson to look as good as he did against Doo Ho Choi. And I know Doo Ho Choi, coming off of what was like a 3-year layoff or something, 2-year.
Yeah.
So maybe a little ring rust there. But you look at the rest of Kyle Nelson's fights, man. He is 1-5 in the UFC. His only win, Marco Polo Reyes. He's losing Diego Fajeda, Billy Quarantillo, Jai Herbert. So, man, he's losing a lot of fights. I know Blake Bilder is technically a prospect, but he looks like he could have the full package of what it takes to fight in the UFC from what we've seen so far. He's tough. He took some decent shots against Shane Young. Shane hits really hard, but Blake Bilder was kind of able to offset that and land a ton of volume. He landed 111 strikes in that one, landed a takedown, showed a pretty well-rounded game. Now, Kyle Nelson, if he goes out there and shoots a takedown and lands it, I don't think that Bilder is off his back. Like, I don't think he's going to submit Kyle Nelson off his back, where Blake Bilder gets a lot of his submissions when he takes people's backs. He's really good at that. Or, he's got top pressure on top of somebody, gets the arm triangles. So I could see him maybe slipping around if he does get taken down here. But so far, he's got 100% takedown defense. So for Kyle Nelson, it just comes down to that. On the feet, I think Blake Bilder destroys his legs, lands some good body shots, and is going to have the advantage there too. Kyle Nelson is not a guy who throws a lot of volume. He's a guy that does get hit a lot. So overall, man, I think this is setting up pretty good for Blake Bilder. He just got to keep the fight where he needs it, where he's comfortable. Again, don't get taken down and try to fight off your back here. Try to be the one on top or try to keep it on the feet. And I think he walks away the winner.
Yeah, I mean, negative strike differential for Kyle Nelson. Blake Bilder showed some pretty good striking in his last time out. Good volume at least. The only thing that concerns me is like Kyle Nelson is a pretty big featherweight, 5'11", 71-inch reach. And he's not like some twig either. Like he's got some good strength to him as well. Blake Bilder is bodied up though. So I don't think he'll have any problems with that. But it's just a little bit of a concern. Taking him at that high of chalk is always like a little, you're a little wary about that. But Kyle Nelson 1-4-1 in the UFC. If he wasn't from Canada, is he on this card?
Probably not. Probably not in the UFC. He probably was, on the chopping block, and they said, wait a minute here. We could give him the Blake Bilder and keep building up the Bilder.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where it falls for me. So I'll go with Blake Bilder. A little bit tough of a price, but somewhat makes sense.